Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about having the Sun in Aries and Sagittarius Ascendant in a natal chart. Now, having this combination, it can make one have a rather fiery temperament, a strong desire for leadership, in perhaps management, maybe executive position in life. They would rather be in a position to lead as opposed to being in a subordinate or subservient position. The Sagittarius rising could make a little bit more lightheartedness and give a little more adaptability to the nature, because it is a mutable sign, but the person can still strongly exude a fiery personality. Now, having Sagittarius rising and Aries sun, well, the outer, even though they're both fire signs, the fact that they are different signs, there is a disparity between what is shown, one is showing in the outer demeanor or projection of self as opposed to the inner self. The Sagittarius rising can really project philosophical, expansive, exuberant, kind of happy-go-lucky qualities very readily and be very jocular and lighthearted, while the Aries sun is a little more acerbic on average and maybe a little combative, but and be a little bit more aggressive and maybe a little bit more outspoken than Sagittarius. Both signs are outspoken, don't get me wrong, but Sagittarius may put things in a way where it doesn't, where it might be a little bit lighter and not as strong as the way the Aries sun may present some things. So what's important to look at too with having Aries sun and Sagittarius rising is look at the aspect that it makes to each other. Now, in many instances, the person with an Aries sun and Sagittarius rising will have a trine aspect, and this will make the energies even integrate and flow even more so than the average Aries sun, Sagittarius ascendant person. And another thing to look at is some other aspects. In some cases, you could have a square aspect. You could have the Sun in Aries at a very early degree and have a late Sagittarius rising, which would be an out of sign square aspect. And in this instance, even though the signs are still the same, of course, and they're both fire signs, and you still have a good blending with that, the square aspect is adversarial, and the person may, because of this, may feel sometimes misunderstood or misconstrued by others, and not really, because they feel that they look at themselves and see that the sign, I guess, whatever they're projecting, especially those knowledgeable about astrology, will understand that maybe whatever they're projecting on the surface they feel is a lot different than what is on the inside. Even people that don't follow astrology may still feel somewhat misunderstood or misconstrued, but they don't really understand why if they don't have a conception of astrology. And in some cases, you'll actually have an inconjunct aspect where if you have the Sun in Aries, say at 28 degrees, for example, and Sagittarius rising, say at 1 degree, you could have that out of sign inconjunct aspect, and it would be like what I described for the square aspect, out of sign aspect. Now, this could be a person that is very adventurous and likes to explore. This could be the sign of the explorer, that the one that uses that Aries impulsiveness and that need for Sagittarius adventure and incorporates them very strongly with each other. Now, these two signs are somewhat known to be accident prone, and having an Aries sun and Sagittarius ascendant, it's important to remember not to be overly daring or audacious, as there can be a propensity maybe for accidents a little more, I would say a lot more so than the average sun rising sign combination. So just be very careful, and whether it's driving or what have you, and because prudence is not exactly a strong point for this combination. Now, this could be a person that also talks about maybe their philosophies and their points of view in rather aggressive matter, and we'll get to the heart of the matter as far as these things go. Now, excuse me, another thing to look at is look at the house that the sun in Aries resides in. Now, in many cases, somebody that has an Aries sun in Sagittarius rising, they'll have the sun in either the fourth or fifth house in many instances. Now, if the Aries sun is located in the fourth house, you might see this fortitude, this aggressive, assertive energy of Aries strongly injected in fourth house matters such as home and family life, because this person might be very courageous with their as far as defending family members, for example. And you see this energy strongly come out, perhaps with maybe doing things at home, not wasting any time, such as home renovation or repair, for example. And also the fourth house can in many instances is the mother. It's generally the less dominant parent, and it could indicate that these qualities might come out strongly in perhaps that relationship with the mother. So now, if the sun is in the fifth house, now this could indicate someone who's Aries aggressive and assertive energy can come out strongly in matters connected with romance, fun, amusement, enjoyment, perhaps creative endeavors, their hobbies, and even matters connected with speculation and gambling in some instances. And this person needs to guard about being very impulsive, impetuous in these matters. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for having the sun in Aries and Sagittarius rising in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about having the sun in Aries and a Capricorn ascendant in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person astrologically speaking based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.